Good afternoon, students. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will wait for 2 minutes, let the participants join, and then we will start with the lecture. Okay, just confirm whether the screen is visible to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is the total strength?
15.
15. Okay. So still 10 participants are only joined. Okay. So let us start. In the previous lecture, we have started with the chapter number 1. In that, we have studied what is computer graphics. So computer graphics is nothing but with computer graphics as an application, we can draw pictures, we can store them, we can perform the modification in the pictures, images, and it is nothing but the representation of the data in picture form. So these things we have studied. Similarly, we have seen the applications of computer graphics. In that, we have seen the CAD application, that is computer aided design. Then we have seen how graphics is used for visualization. Then how it is used for entertainment, like making the movies and making the animations, how the computer graphics can be useful. Then we have also seen in case of medical applications like the image processing and all, how the computer graphics plays an important role. Then we have seen also for drawing for education purpose, like in order to teach how to model the cars, automobiles, buildings. So for that purpose also we can make use of computer graphics, as well as how to draw the pictures. For that also we can make use of computer graphics. With the help of tablet and pen we can draw the picture, and that we can take as an input, right? So these are the different applications of computer graphics that we have already studied, and now we are going to start with the basic terminologies in the computer graphics. So first basic element of computer graphics is called as pixel. So pixel is nothing but a point or the smallest screen element. Okay, so we know that whenever we are running any computer program, CG program, that is computer graphics program, the computer graphics is nothing but the representation of the image on the screen, right? So whenever you are writing any turbo program, that is any C program or CPP program, you are getting the output also on the output screen, right? You are writing the program in turbo editor and you are executing that program and getting the output on the black screen, which is called as output screen. Now what happens in computer graphics is that black screen, that output screen, is converted into number of pixels. So the output screen, as soon as you execute the program, you will get that black output screen. And now as the graphics mode has been initialized, so that screen is totally divided into number of pixels. So you can see like this, the screen is divided, or screen is converted into a set of pixels, and pixel is nothing but the smallest element on the screen. So consider this is the smallest element on the screen. Now as this element is similar to a point, so it has its x and y coordinate. If I want to plot any point on the graph, what should I know? I should know its x and y value, then only I can plot it on the on this graph. Similarly here also, the total screen is converted into number of points. So suppose it has total 600 points horizontally and 400 points vertically. So if it is having total 600 points horizontally and 400 points vertically, then total it will have 600 by 400 points on the screen. And every point will have its own x and y value, that is x coordinate and y coordinate, where this top left corner of the screen is considered as the origin. So this point is considered as origin. This horizontal axis, that is the topmost edge of the window, is considered as your positive x-axis, and this vertical line of the window is considered as your positive y-axis. Though the axis is moving downwards, then also it is considered as positive in nature. And this whole screen is acting as your first quadrant where x and y both values are positive. So this whole screen is now converted as your first quadrant, where you are able to represent all positive x and y values. So all x and y values are positive in this screen, and the top left corner is acting as the origin. So if I want to plot a point, let's say 10, 10. I want to plot this point P as 10, 10. So for that, how I should move? I know now this is your origin. Top left corner is acting as the origin. So I will start from the origin. Then X value is 10. So along X axis, I will move 10 points towards right. Similarly, I know the Y value is also 10. So on this Y axis, I will move 10 points. And now whatever the intersecting point of this horizontal and vertical location is there, that becomes your point P with coordinate 10, 10. So this is your P point with coordinates 10, 10. So now P is nothing but a pixel, or it is also called as picture element. So picture element is also called as pixel, or it is also called as PEL. It is nothing but a smallest screen element. So the screen is having such number of dots or number of pixels present, and every pixel is having its own X and Y coordinate and its color. So that is how we are going to represent the screen in terms of pixels, and pixel is the smallest entity. It is the smallest screen element, right? So that is the definition of pixel. So it is the very basic quantity or basic fundamental thing of computer graphics, a pixel. Next is so we can see the definition in detail. So this definition of pixel is, it is defined as the smallest size object or color spot that can be displayed and addressed on a monitor. So we can display it and we can address it on the monitor. Pixels are normally arranged in a two-dimensional grid and are often represented using dots or squares. So it is a two-dimensional grid means what? It has X and Y values, and these are the two dimensions of it. It has X value, it has X coordinate, and it has Y coordinate, and that is the two dimensions of a pixel. And it is always represented by a dot or a small square. So here also we can represent it like a small square. So small square, it is nothing but a pixel on the monitor. Okay, so that is about the basic terminology called pixel. Then we will see the resolution. So in day-to-day life also we are using this word resolution. So what is the resolution meaning? So one meaning is the number of pixels which are present on the monitor. So here we have taken the example that 600 pixels are present horizontally and 400 pixels are present vertically. So when I do 600 by 400, so whatever 240000, these many pixels are there on this monitor, and that becomes your resolution. So total resolution is nothing but number of pixels horizontally by number of pixels vertically. That is one definition of the resolution. So the number of distinct pixel, that is the quality of resolution. So resolution is of two types. First is called as image resolution and second is called as screen resolution. So image resolution means what? It refers to pixel spacing in a normal PC monitor. It ranges between 25 to 80 pixels per inch. So whenever I am going to display any image on this screen, consider this is the image I want to display on the graphics output screen. So here it will consider how many pixels are there in 1 inch area. So it is nothing but the pixel spacing on the normal monitor, and it ranges between 25 pixels to 80 pixels per inch. So if I am having 25 pixels in 1 inch, then whether the picture will be more clear or it will be more clear if I have 80 pixels per inch. Are you getting my question? Image resolution is nothing but the number of pixels present in a area of 1 inch. So consider in this 1 inch total, I can have the pixels ranging from 25 to 80. So if 25 pixels are there, then the resolution will be, then the picture will be more clear. Or if 80 pixels are there, then the picture will be more clear.
80 pixels.
Right. So here 80 pixels, if they are there in the 1 inch area, that means the picture quality is good. For example, let's say this is 1 inch area in which I am having 25 pixels. Okay, I am having 25 pixel and this is the image that I am going to display. Right, this is the image that I am going to display. On the other hand, I am having this area of 1 inch and I am having 80 pixels where the number of pixels, they are connected near to each other. So within the small area, total number of pixels accommodated are more, and that's why I am going to get more clear image. Here I am going to get some distorted image or some we can say disturbed image. But if the number of pixels which are there in the fixed area are more, then the picture will be more clear. So here, if the resolution, that is 80 pixels per inch, if I am getting the pixels these many, then I will be getting more clear image than that of the 25 pixel. Right, so it is called as image resolution. So it determines the availability of pixels in 1 inch. Okay, so resolution can be measured as image resolution. It is one way, and second way is using screen resolution. So screen resolution means what? It is total number of pixels on the screen. So just now we have seen the example, 600 pixels horizontally and 400 vertically. So total I will be having 600 into 400 pixels as a on the screen, and that is called as your total screen resolution. Okay, so resolution can be treated in two ways. One is image resolution and other is screen resolution. Okay, all of you are getting up to this? Yes, roll number 5, Divya Kamble is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is there any difficulty?
मॅम रिझोल्युशनचं कळालं नाही.
Resolution. Okay, resolution मध्ये it can be of two types, or we can measure the resolution in two ways. आपण असं म्हणू शकतो की resolution, it can be measured or it can be observed in two ways. First is image resolution. Image resolution म्हणजे काय? आता मी ही एक इमेज डिस्प्ले केली आहे, बरोबर? तर या इमेज मध्ये जर मी एका इंच मध्ये किती नंबर ऑफ पिक्सेल्स आहेत, किती नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स आहेत, हे डिसाइड करतं त्याचं रिझोल्युशन. आता बघा, या स्क्वेअर मध्ये हा जो 1 इंचचा स्क्वेअर आहे इमेज मधला, त्याच्यामध्ये जर 25 पिक्सेलच असतील तर काय होईल? आता हा स्क्वेअर आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये या पोर्शन मध्ये प्रिंट होणारा हा म्हणजे इमेजचा हा पोर्शन या 1 इंचच्या एरियामध्ये येतो. समजा माझ्याकडे 25 पिक्सेल असतील. ओके, समजा माझ्याकडे 25 पिक्सेल असतील, तर 1 इंच या एरियामध्ये ते पिक्सेल लांब लांब प्लॉट केलेले असतील, बरोबर? 1 इंचच्या एरियामध्ये ते पिक्सेल्स लांब लांब प्लॉट केले असतील, कारण या ब्लॉक मध्ये फक्त किती नंबर ऑफ पिक्सेल्स आहेत? 25. याच्यामध्ये फक्त 25 आहेत. आता सेम साईजच्या ब्लॉक मध्ये जर मी 80 पिक्सेल्स प्लॉट करत असेल, 80 पिक्सेल्स प्लॉट करत असेल, तर ऑब्विसली ते पिक्सेल्स एकमेकांच्या जवळ प्लॉट करावे लागतील मला. आणि हे जे पिक्चर डिस्प्ले होतंय तुमचं, दॅट विल बी मोर क्लिअर इन नेचर. हा जो पोर्शन तुमचा 1 इंचच्या एरियामध्ये स्क्रीनवर डिस्प्ले होतोय, त्या ज्या एरियामध्ये जर 25 पिक्सेल असतील तर ते पिक्सेल लांब लांब प्लॉट केलेले असतील, पण त्या एरियामध्ये जर मी 80 पिक्सेल्स प्लॉट करत असेल तर ते फार जवळजवळ प्लॉट करावे लागतील. आणि त्या केसमध्ये मिळणारा पिक्चर हे मोर क्लिअर आहे. इथे तुम्हाला लवकर कळतंय की हा शेप काय, पण इथे नाही कळत आहे तुम्हाला जर पिक्सेल लांब लांब आहेत तर. सो पिक्चर क्लॅरिटी इज मोर if number of pixels per inch are more. एका इंच मध्ये असणारे जर पिक्सेल्स जास्त असतील तर त्याची क्लॅरिटी जास्त असते, आणि जर 25 पिक्सेल असतील तर मिळणारा पिक्चर हे डिस्टॉर्टेड असेल, ते एवढं क्लिअर नसेल ना, कारण एरिया सेम आहे पण त्यातले नंबर ऑफ पिक्सेल्स कमी आहेत. राईट. So image resolution, it is referring to the pixel spacing. जेवढं पिक्सेल स्पेसिंग वाढेल, 2 पिक्सेल मधलं अंतर हे जेवढं वाढेल तेव्हा मिळणारं पिक्चर हे मला ब्लर येईल. पण जर 2 पिक्सेल मधलं अंतर कमी असेल, स्पेसिंग बिटवीन द पिक्सेल इज लेस, देन मिळणारं पिक्चर हे मोर क्लिअर असेल. So this will be clear image and this will be blur image because pixels are placed apart from each other in this kind of block. Getting it? So they are inversely proportional. जेवढे कमी पिक्सेल्स असतील एका इंच मध्ये तेवढं पिक्चर ब्लर असेल, आणि जेवढे जास्त पिक्सेल्स असतील तेवढं पिक्चर हे क्लिअर येईल. आता कळलंय? हे झालं इमेज रिझोल्यूशन. आणि नेक्स्ट आहे स्क्रीन रिझोल्यूशन. स्क्रीन रिझोल्यूशन म्हणजे काय? तर टोटल नंबर ऑफ पिक्सेल्स आय एम गोइंग टू कन्सिडर. त्या केसमध्ये मी एका इंच मधले पिक्सेल्स नाही कन्सिडर करतेय, तर ऍज अ होल द टोटल स्क्रीन इज कन्सिडर्ड, अँड ऑन दॅट स्क्रीन हाऊ मेनी डिस्टिंक्ट पिक्सेल्स आर देअर. डिस्टिंक्ट म्हणजे काय? ओव्हरलॅप नसलेले किंवा टोटली वेगळे. डिस्टिंक्ट म्हणजे so all pixels are separate from each other. So such distinct pixel is giving you the screen resolution. मग याचं स्क्रीन रिझोल्यूशन काय? तर 600 पिक्सेल्स हॉरिझॉन्टली आहेत and 400 पिक्सेल्स व्हर्टिकली आहेत. So total resolution of the screen will be 600 by 400. 600 by 400. That becomes your screen resolution. Getting it now? Yes, Divya.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All other students, boys side, all of you are getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So that is about resolution. It can be observed in 2 ways. One is image resolution and other is screen resolution. In both the cases, if the number of pixels are more, then the picture quality is great. Otherwise, if number of pixels are less, then obviously you are going to get the disturbed picture image. So that is about resolution. Next is dot. Next concept of computer graphics is dot. So dot is nothing but you are having total, we are always knowing that if I want to display any image, it is having the 3 colors in it. And that 3 color format is called as RGB. So red, green, and blue. So every picture is displayed in terms of these 3 colors, red, green, and blue. And such every dot, such tint cells, that is nothing but such color cells are called as dots. So that is the definition of the dot. So on the monitor screen, it is arranged in a triangular fashion. So it is representation of RGB color, and it is represented, or it is also called as dot. Next term is frame buffer. So frame buffer is a video memory that is used to hold or map the image displayed on the screen. So whatever the screen, whatever I am going to display it onto the screen or monitor, I need to store that information onto in memory, and that is for temporary memory. I am going to use this frame buffer. So what is this frame buffer is? So frame buffer is nothing but it is storing the information about the image on the output screen. So here it is a line. So I am going to store the information about the line into this buffer. Now what information is required? So it require the start point and end point, or in short, it requires all pixels which are present on this line. So the coordinates of all the pixels on the line I need to store, and the color of those pixels. So its X and Y coordinates are required. Also, the color of that pixel is also required. So here I can view the line is of black color. So I'm going to store the color as a one property in this frame buffer. So frame buffer is nothing but a video memory which we can view, and it used to hold or map the image which is present on the screen. So whatever the image is there on the output screen, it is going to map that in the video memory. The amount of memory required to hold the image depend on resolution of the screen and the color depth. So here, if the resolution is less, so low resolution is there, that means consider this line is made up of only 6 points. Consider the line is made up of 6 points only. So it is nothing but I need to store in the memory only coordinates of 6 pixels. So the amount of memory required is totally dependent upon the resolution. If the resolution is less, only 6 pixels information I need to store in the memory. But if the resolution is more, suppose in order to store this line, I require 30 pixels. I require 30 pixels to draw this line. So the resolution is more, and that's why total memory required will be also more, because every pixel will have its X and Y value and color. So consider in earlier example, the resolution was less, only 6 pixels are there, and 6 into 3 values, X coordinate, Y coordinate, and the color of that particular pixel. So total 18 bits of memory, suppose I need to, I used to store the earlier line with less resolution. And now the resolution is more, 30 pixels are there, and each pixel is having its X coordinate, Y coordinate, and the color. And that's why 30 into 3, total 90 bits of data will be required as a memory to store this line. And that is why it is said that the amount of memory required to hold the image depend on resolution of the screen and the color depth. So color depth is also nothing but depending upon the intensity of a color or shade of the color, you are going to change the value, and that is totally dependent upon resolution and color depth, how much size is required to store this line. Okay. The formula to calculate how much video memory is required is at a given resolution, and bit depth is given like this. So memory in MB. The memory in MB is there, and that's why it is getting divided by 1024 by 1024. And it is in bytes, and that's why 8 is also used to divide, as I am considering the number of bits. So when I divide it with 8, then it will be in terms of bytes, and in order to store it in megabytes, I require to divide with 1024 by 1024. So it is the total 10 raised to 6 bits and 8 bits per byte, and that's why 8 is also used over here. And the formula is X resolution into Y resolution into bit per pixel. So per point, whatever the size is required, divided by 8 into 1024 by 1024. It is nothing but the memory in MB required to store any image. Okay, so that is how the frame buffer is useful to store the data, and the amount of memory required is having this formula. Okay, so a frame buffer is a large contiguous space of computer memory. At a minimum, there is one memory bit for each pixel in raster, and this amount of memory is also called as a bit plane. The picture is built up in the frame buffer one bit at a time. So here I am going to store the picture bitwise. So every bit is having every bit plane is going to store bitwise structure. So consider this is a bit plane, and I am going to store the picture in terms of number of bits. So one bit at a time. In that way, I am going to store the information about the picture in frame buffer. Okay, so information of every pixel is stored in one bit. Okay, all of you have understood what is frame buffer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the frame buffer concept only regarding with the memory requirement to store any image, and it has this fixed formula. Okay, then we will see what is rasterization. So here we are going to make use of this word raster scan graphics. So what is rasterization? Okay, so this is your output screen, and you are going to draw the image by controlling the pixels, right? By controlling these number of pixels. That means I am going to draw any image by changing the properties of certain pixels. Suppose I want to draw a square. Suppose I want to draw a square. So I am going to change the property of this pixel, which was earlier of background color, and now I am going to provide some picture color to it. In such a way, I am going to draw a square on the output screen by changing the property or by controlling the pixels. I am going to change the property of the pixels. I am going to change the color of them. And finally, I will get the output like this, a small square on the screen. Okay. Now, while drawing this square, always the motion of drawing, that is the path for drawing the picture, is followed in a raster way. So what is mean by raster way? So it starts with the top left corner, this particular corner of the screen, and it go on scanning the screen till it reaches the rightmost element. So I will start with this, and I will go on scanning the screen from left to right till I reach to the rightmost corner, and then again I will return the control back to the second row of the screen. So the control is returned back and the process is repeated again. So scanning towards right and returning the control to the next element, which is on the left hand side. So in this way, I'm going to scan the whole screen until I reach to this particular point, which is the bottom right corner. So this process of drawing the image in a zigzag manner is repeated till I reach here. And this process of scanning the screen from left to right, top to bottom is called as rasterization. So the control is achieved by setting the intensity and color of the pixel which compose the screen. So here, once I get this line, then I will change the color and intensity of those pixels to complete this image. So here, that particular process is called as rasterization. So the process of determining appropriate pixel for representing the picture is called as rasterization. So I'm going to determine these pixels because I want to print them onto the screen, a small square. The process of representing continuous picture or graphics object as a collection of discrete pixel is called scan conversion. So if I want to draw any shape onto the screen, it is made up of pixels, right? If I want to draw any shape, then it is made up of certain pixels. So instead of showing it in a discrete manner, discrete means apart from each other, separate. So instead of showing it in discrete manner, I am going to show it as a continuous image, and that conversion is considered as scan conversion. So here, representing continuous picture as a collection of discrete pixel is called as scan conversion. So this method is known as scan conversion. So these are some more concepts of computer graphics, that is rasterization, scan conversion. Then we will see what is horizontal and vertical retrace. Okay. So what you can do with graphic before displaying it on the screen. So the image is stored in the picture, image is stored in the memory, and that I want to display it onto the screen. So what you can do with that image or with that data is, first, the graphics can allow the rotation, translation, scaling, these operations before displaying it. So this is the data stored with me. It is about the square. So what operations I can do on it? I can carry out the rotation of this square. So now it is of this shape. After 90-degree rotation, it will be like this. So I'm going to change its direction. So it is nothing but the rotation, or I can scale it. Scale means I can enlarge it, or even I can compress it. So I can perform enlargement or compression of the object. Similarly, I can carry out the translation. Translation means shifting of the object to a new location. So these are the different operations I can carry out. Similarly, I can check for the hidden surface removal and shading and transparency to the picture. So for the given image, I can check the visible portions and hidden portions of the picture, and I can remove the hidden portion, because they are of no use. For example, if I want to display a cube onto the screen, the back sides of this cube are not visible. The back sides of this cube are not visible, so I can remove that information, which will be more memory efficient in nature. And that's why these effects like removing the hidden surfaces or applying the shading and transparency to the picture, which makes it more realistic. These operations we can carry out before displaying the image. Then user can edit the object using keyboard, mouse, and touch sensitive panel on the screen. So we can have the modification using keyboard, mouse, etc. There is close relationship between input and display devices. It is obvious because whatever input we are providing, that input only we are able to display onto the output screen. So there is a relation between the input and output devices of computer graphics. Now, what is graphics devices? It is combination of input and output device, and output device is nothing but the display, because the main purpose of computer graphics is to display the image or to represent the data in image form. So display is very important. So in short, computer graphics devices are made up of input and output, that is display devices altogether. Okay, so let us start with the display device now, because what are the input device? That is a small bit at the end of this chapter we are going to study what are the input devices, but here the display devices are more important. So here display devices, they are also called as output devices. Display devices, they are also called as output devices. Most commonly they are used to display the image, and a video monitor is the example of it. So we are going to make use of video monitor. So you have seen the earlier PCs were of this kind, where the monitor is of a bigger size, which has the larger backside, where you are finding this electron gun and the deflection systems and control grid to control this light falling on this phosphor. So this is how your video monitor is working. So we are going to see it in detail now. Okay, so the display devices are of following types. First is CRT, that is cathode ray tube. Then random scan, raster scan display. Then the color CRT. Then we are having DVST, that is direct view storage tube. Then flat panel display, plasma panel display, and LCD. So these are the different display devices. Out of that, we are having CRT, color CRT, random and raster scan display. Okay, in our syllabus. So let us start with the CRT. Okay. So here CRT stands for cathode ray tube. It is having this structure. I will show you the diagram. Yes. So this is your cathode ray tube, where it is a cylindrical like structure, which is having a dome like structure at one end. On another end, it has the electron gun with connector pins and base. So electron gun is mounted on this base, and it is further connected with the connector pins, where we can apply the voltage. So here, these are the connector pins where we can apply the voltage, and this electron gun will start emitting the electrons. So what is the job of this electron gun? It will start emitting the electrons, and those electrons will pass through the focusing system, the vertical and horizontal deflection plates, and they decide its direction where that electron beam will strike on the output screen. So where this electron beam will strike, it is totally based on this vertical deflection and horizontal deflection system. So these are the different parts. This is the phosphor coated screen. So whenever you are able to strike this electron beam onto this output screen, this portion will glow. This portion, that is this particular point at which the electron beam will strike on the screen, that portion will change its color from background color to picture color or glowing element. So this particular point or pixel will glow once electron gun will strike that point. Suppose this gun, what we can say, this electron beam will move in this manner. So it will strike here, and this particular portion will be changing its color. And this is how we are able to get the pixels on the output screen. So this change of color is nothing but your pixels displayed on the output screen. Okay, so electron gun is responsible for generating this electron beam by getting the appropriate voltage from these connector pins. That is the job of electron gun. Then base is nothing but all these instruments are mounted on this base. Then focusing system. So what is the job of focusing system? So if it would not be here, then the electron beam or the electrons will pass in any of the direction once it is getting generated from this electron gun. एकदा electrons इथे generate झाले की त्याला direction will not be specified. They can move here and there in this tube. So to prevent them, we are having this focusing system. Focusing system मुळे काय होतं? It is going to prevent this outside movement of the electron, and the flow is regulated along this path only. So now no electrons will go out and the flow is maintained along this way. Okay, so that is about the focusing system of the CRT. Okay, then next comes your horizontal deflection plates and vertical deflection plates. So you are having two pairs of horizontal and vertical deflection plates. So depending upon the image, it is going to guide this electron beam to strike at appropriate location on the screen. So this is nothing but the controlling the electron beam to strike at its desired position. Okay, so these are the parts of the CRT, and this is phosphor coated screen. So it is having the green phosphor, and whenever the electron beam will strike this, it will generate a point of fluorescent color as the output point. Okay, so CRT, electron gun, it is at the rear of the tube. It produces a beam of electron which is directed towards the front of the tube with high voltage. So the high voltage is provided, it will generate the electron beam, and it will travel towards the phosphor coated screen. The inner side of the screen is coated with a phosphor substance which gives off light when it is stroked by electrons. So it will glow, that is, it will generate light when the coating is struck by the electron beam. Then the control grid is nothing but it determines the voltage achieved by the electrons. So before they hit the phosphorus, so before just hitting this phosphor coated wall, whatever the velocity is generated by this electron beam is recorded by the control grid, and that control grid will decide where it should, where that beam should follow, where that beam should fall. Okay, so that is about the control grid. Okay. So the next is primary component of electron gun. So we have seen that heated metal cathode. So it is nothing but the electron gun which releases the electrons, So here heating filament causes negatively charged electrons to boil off and accelerate towards the phosphor coated screen by high positive voltage. So electron beam is directed towards the phosphor coated with high positive voltage. Then second comes the accelerated anode. So accelerated anode is nothing but the acceleration voltage can be generated with a positively charged metal coating on the inside of CRT envelope near the phosphor screen, or we can say the accelerating anode can be used. So here I am having the positively charged metal coating, and we can have the acceleration in the anode. So that coated film is acting as the anode over here, and the electron gun is acting as a cathode. Then comes the control grid. So what is control grid? It is a metal cylinder that fits over the cathode and used to control the intensity of the electron beam by setting the voltage level. So it is going to control the intensity. Then focusing system, it is nothing but the electrons when they are in one line. So just now we have seen this focusing system. So this is focusing system. So whenever the electrons are there in one path, they repel each other because all electrons are negatively charged. So as the charge is negative on all the electrons, they will repel each other, and which will result in the scattered ray or the scattered beam of the electrons. And to remove that, this focusing system is used, which will concentrate the electrons in the same path, and it will prevent it from scattering. So scattering prevent करण्यासाठी focusing system use होतं. Then the deflection coils, they can be controlled by using the electric field or magnetic field, and they will decide the electron beam where to fall. Okay, then how the spot of light is produced? So we already know this. The kinetic energy of electron is absorbed by phosphor. So phosphor is nothing but this coating. So whatever the energy is there of this light, of this electron beam, that will be converted. So here the kinetic energy is absorbed by phosphor. So phosphor is going to absorb that, and due to that the heat gets generated, and which will enlight that particular portion. So here you are going to represent it with a green light structure, as it is green phosphorus coating. So it is going to what we can say, illuminate the point with green light. So here the kinetic energy is converted, and you are able to enlight the point on the output screen. Then okay, so once this ray will hit the phosphor coating, then the energy gets converted, that is the kinetic energy will get converted and heat gets generated. So that is the working of this light, and it will illuminate the particular point on the output screen. Okay, so that is how the light gets produced. Now we are having the basic properties of phosphor. So phosphorus persistence. So once okay, the time it takes the emitted light from the screen to decay to 1/10 of its original intensity. So we have seen in this particular diagram, the electron gun will strike this phosphor coated screen and the light will get displayed. Here, this portion will get illuminated. Now, the time for which this illumination is preserved, जितक्या वेळ तो पॉइंट हा ब्राईट दिसतो तुमच्या स्क्रीनवरती, त्या टाइम त्या वेळेला म्हणतात persistence. So phosphor persistence is nothing but the time it takes the emitted light from the screen to decay to 1/10 of its original intensity. So current intensity याची जर 90% असेल, intensity of this particular light is 90% असेल, तर ती 1/10 of 90 होईपर्यंत, that means till it become 9, from 90 to 9 reverse procedure, that is we are reducing the intensity after strike. ही इलेक्ट्रॉन बीम स्ट्राईक झाल्यानंतर जर 90 एवढी इंटेन्सिटी असेल, तर ती त्याच्या 1/10 होईपर्यंत, म्हणजे 9 ला येईपर्यंत जेवढा वेळ लागतो त्याला म्हणतात persistence of phosphor. Low persistence require high refresh rate. Low persistence means what? Low persistence म्हणजेच हे time required हा less आहे. That means the light will be visible only for smaller duration of time. Higher persistence म्हणजे काय, जास्त टाइम लागतोय जेवढा वेळ ती लाईट विजिबल आहे, आणि लोअर पर्सिस्टन्स मीन्स व्हॉट, द टाइम रिक्वायर्ड इज लेस. मग जर कमी वेळ लागत असेल तर त्या केसमध्ये तुम्हाला रिफ्रेश सायकल्स और रिफ्रेश रेट तुम्हाला वाढवावा लागेल. सो वी आर गोइंग टू improve the refresh rate. So by how many times you are going to display the picture on the output screen, that is called as your refresh rate. And if the persistence is high, then such a refresh is not required at all, because the point will be visible for longer amount of time, longer duration. Then we have already seen what is resolution. It is nothing but the maximum number of points without overlap, that is distinct points. Then intensity distribution. So intensity distribution of a spot on the screen is greatest as the center of the spot and decreases with a Gaussian distribution out to the edges. What is the meaning of it? Whenever I am going to display any image, suppose I want to draw this line. So on this cathode tube, it is getting displayed here. This line will strike here, and it will draw the line from this point to this point, suppose. So it will go on striking the pixels which are along this path. आता मला ही लाईन आउटपुट स्क्रीनवर मिळाली आहे. ओके, सो when I want to display this particular line, then these pixels which are exactly on the line, they are of bright intensity. त्यांची इंटेन्सिटी खूप जास्त असणार आहे आणि त्याच्या शेजारचे जे पिक्सेल्स आहेत त्याची इंटेन्सिटी कमी 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 होत जाणार आहे इफ आय एम मूव्हिंग अवे फ्रॉम द लाईन. या लाईनवर असेल तर त्याची इंटेन्सिटी जास्त असणार आहे आणि जर इफ आय एम मूव्हिंग अवे फ्रॉम द लाईन इन एनी डिरेक्शन then that intensity will be less, and it is specified here intensity distribution मध्ये. Intensity distribution of a spot on the screen is greatest at the center. So it is the center, so it is greatest at the center and it decreases with a Gaussian distribution towards the edges. So intensity will be reduced once I started moving apart from this diagram. Okay, so that is how the intensity distribution takes place for any picture on the CRT. Then comes the aspect ratio. So aspect ratio is the ratio of vertical to horizontal points. So if I am having total 400 points on the Y and 600 on X axis, so 400 by 600 will give you the aspect ratio. So 400 by 600 is the aspect ratio, which is giving you number of pixels vertically divided by number of pixels horizontally. Okay. So the next is CRT. So CRT we have already seen what is the control grid, then how the electron beam strikes on the screen, what is the job of focusing system. So it concentrates the beam. It will stop the electron beam from scattering. Then vertical and horizontal deflection plates we have already seen. And this CRT using two methods. One is called as a random scan and other is called as a raster scan. So in detail, we are going to study what is random scan and raster scan in the coming lecture. Okay, so we will stop here with CRT as the last point of today's lecture, and the color CRT and further all type of display devices that we will see in the next lecture. Okay, so till this particular point, is there any difficulty? If you have any doubts, ask me, whatever the points that we have covered today. So we have covered the basic terminologies, starting from the pixel, then resolution, the aspect ratio, the frame buffer, the dot, and these are the things we have covered. And then we have started with the display devices. In that, we have seen CRT, working of CRT in detail. Okay. Do you have any doubt till this particular point? CRT only. Okay. So I believe that you have no doubts in the today's session. So we will stop here for today. Thank you.